this time I decided to live stream my students.
Um, I wanted to speak on this situation. Of course, I gave it about a week because I wanted to, do my due diligence, should I say? And so, for in the defense of this brother, I'm gonna let him speak for himself. This is the video, the viral video of the teacher letting his students, which are teenagers, 13 and 14-year-old girls, take his hair down, and he felt that was okay, and he felt that it was so okay, right, that he would live stream it. And before I get into this video and I let him speak his piece before I, give my commentary on the situation and how I feel, I want to say this. First and foremost, I'm going to start by saying, parents, love your children. Love your children. Spend time with your children. Value your children. And if you don't have the spirit to do that, the time to do that, don't have children. Because if you notice in the black community, I don't want to hear about other communities. We talking about the black community because this black community is the worst with this. Social media. And I've done research, which is field reports and life experiences, meaning people I know. The people who are the people who are mostly on social media, um, looking for validation, posting their whole life story on social media is people usually 85 to 90% of the time are people who come up in single parent households, which automatically mean they didn't get the love that they deserve because they didn't have two parents. Your mother cannot triple love you, double love you. Your grandmother cannot love you like your parents love you. They can love you a lot, but they can't love you like the two people who brought you in this world. If you wasn't raised by your mother and father, you definitely didn't get the love and support that you deserve. And even some people that come up in two parent households didn't get the love and support that they deserved as a child. And so these are the people you see on social media who do everything for attention. They post every second of their life looking for validation from strangers because they didn't get that love and support in coming up. And in most situations, or in some situations as an adult, they don't have a significant other that's giving them that love and support. And so they go to the social media world where people don't care about them, looking for something bad to say about them, and they look for validation through those people. And this is something that affects the black community more than anything because we know that we lead the nation in broken homes. We know all these things are facts. I don't they is what it is. I'm not too big on talking about the problem. I'm all about talking about the solution, which I'm not doing that in this video, but I'm addressing the issue. I notice, man, I go to airports, um, fine dining, gyms, theme parks, museums, everywhere that you go in this world. Yes, people may have their phone out and take a picture or a short video here and there, but black people seem to be obsessed with social media to a default, to a destructive default, right? They always got their phones out until it's starting to get obnoxious at certain points. Because I'm black and I'm proud to be black and I go certain places and I act like I'm supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I may take a picture and keep it moving or whatever, but you got black people and they just going live and they bumping all into you and they just can't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? Black people, black women and men are constantly getting killed, stabbed, or shot over Facebook beef. You have a lot of these black men and women going to prison for doing illegal things on social media, posting guns and drugs, and it's just that a black person can't even step outside of their car into a local McDonald's without posting it. And it's getting tasteless, it's getting obnoxious, and it's just getting weird at this point. Why am I saying all this? Because we can feel however we want to feel, and I'm going to let you know how I feel about this whole situation. But had not he went live, had not he posted this on a public platform, we wouldn't be here. You see what I'm saying? We have this issue in our community where everything has to be seen, and that's not the case, right? Now, if he wanted to video call that and say, hey, I'm gonna put this in my archive. One day maybe these young ladies will be on off in college, celebrities or whatever they may be in life, and I'm gonna just hold this at my own Google Photos or Apple Photos or iOS Cloud or however y'all do that with these iPhones. I'm an Android guy. But however you do it, and I'm gonna save this video so when they become a Beyonce or they become a world famous lawyer, judge, the Supreme Court justice, whatever these young ladies become, I will be able to go back to the video and say, remember this, remember this. You know, it just be some fine memories. Okay, cool. But for you to post this for millions of people to see on a public platform was immature, stupid, naive, and this is why he's going through what he's going through right now. Now, I will say this. I don't think that brother should be fired, but I do think he should be reprimanded if it's just a warning. This is not something that you do. You know what I'm saying? And and if you're going to do something this crazy, why would you put it on social media? This is an issue that has to be taken care of in social media. And I also will say this: social media have um blessed a lot of black people. Social media have been great for a lot of black people. But in my opinion, it has done more harm to black America than it has helped. But I'm gonna let this brother speak just so he can have his version out there, because I don't want to, because everybody heard the video, and I'm gonna try to post the link if I can get it in the video so you can go watch it, because the volume seems not to be that well on this particular phone that I'm recording on. But this is my thoughts on it. But like I said, I'm gonna give my thoughts after he say what he say, and of course I'll chime in then.
It's helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate, and other people saying this was completely fine, there was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school, and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself, because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun, play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I would roll them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is, if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics, because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange. So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out because they know that they have a safe space to be themselves around me.
Well, brother, you don't have no wisdom. You don't have any wisdom for you to do something like that. So I want to chime that in. You don't have any wisdom, my brother. Might be a good guy, might be a good teacher. You seem nice, but you don't have any wisdom. So we're not gonna even use that word.
What I strive to do as an educator is be the teacher I wish I had grown up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child will be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. No further questions, Your Honor. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. You think this was inappropriate or people are making something out of nothing? And although you are entitled to your opinion, all I ask is that you be respectful. Thank you.
So let's get into this. First of all, I noticed, I even asked my mom. A woman who's a woman of God, who was married for 30 years to her husband passed, which was my father. Um, amazing woman I've never seen with no other man but my father. A woman I've never even seen put makeup or a pair of pants on. This is the type of woman my mother is, and I asked her opinion. I said all that just to give a synopsis of who my mother is. I asked my mother about that situation, and she said, "Well, I don't think it was no big deal." And pretty much every woman I asked that to said that same thing, except one woman. The one woman who said that she didn't agree with that for obvious reasons was a woman who had 4 kids, 2 daughters, 2 sons. Um, but but the women who most women will feel like that. That's why I don't know what I'm gonna file this under, because this also shows how important fathers are. This shows, like I said, as for mentioned in the beginning of the video, why social media is detrimental for the most part to Black America. But every man I asked this to said the same thing I said. Well, I don't think he should get fired, but what he did was inappropriate. And what made him think that it was okay for him to film that? Sir, this is not cosmetology class. If this was cosmetology class, even if this was a home ec class, because home ec teaches you how to be a man in the house, or a woman, meaning like it teach you how to cook and teach you little certain things, sew, iron, and even if you might have could have got away if it was a home ec class, which I don't even know if they still have no more these days. Um, or cosmetology class, of course, but this was, as he said, you guys heard, he's a science teacher. This has nothing to do with science. This was something that he allowed them to do because, well, he gave the reasoning that he didn't have time or whatever, whatever, whatever. Now, let me get into the reason why I disagree with him doing that. Number one, we all been in school before, and they had this particular teacher, whether he was a coach or whatever he was, and the little girls had a crush on him. We all know that. This guy, he's a decent looking brother. He's young. We're pretty sure these girls got a kick out of that. And these little girls today are very, very, very fast. They always had fast girls in any generation, but these days, majority, not minority, but a majority of these little girls are fast. Why is that? Because as we know that hip hop shapes the Black community for the most part, not to mention majority of these young ladies are coming out of single parent households where their mother messes with multiple men. They have 3 or 4 different siblings for different men. We, like I say, and as I just said, hip hop shapes our community. So this is why you have all of these. You got Sexy Red, and I heard she went to a high school. That was an abomination for them to bring someone like that to a high school. But it just shows you the respect that they have for the black community to even allow somebody like that to come to a black school, because you know she's not going to no white school. But that's another story for another day. Um, you know, it is very sad the state of the black community because of our music and because of our bad parental skills. Meaning, a lot of us are bringing men and women. This is not a bash against women. This is not a bash against men. It's a bash on both. We bringing these children in the world because most of the time the man just wanted to have sex and not use a condom, and the woman wanted a relationship. And it can be both ways for the woman. The woman, she might have just wanted some good sex too without a condom, and they're bringing these children in the world irresponsibly, in poverty, in all kind of situations, bringing them in the world with dudes who they know not going to be around, whether it's because of their lifestyle, just because they just, they got their bum energy on them, or whatever the situation may be. And these are the children that we're producing, and they go in the community, and we not able to raise them because now we're working all these shifts, working all these hours. The man ain't around. So Suki Hana, Sexy Red, NBA YoungBoy ain't raising your child, and the stuff that they put out, and and our children look at them and it's, oh, they got rich, they got money, because in the black community that's what we worship. We worship money, we worship fame, we worship a degree. That's what we worship. We don't worship God. We believe in God, but for the most part, we don't worship God in the black community. We worship money, athletes, celebrities, and stuff like that. There, so you got these people like Sexy Red and NBA
Let's
YoungBoy
go
and all
ahead and
these
stir the pot
individuals,
a little.
and so that's who we worship. That's who our children are worshiping, because we're not in the home raising them. And the woman is working 16-hour shifts, and they leaving these children to themselves. And we know what the Bible say about a child left to themselves will bring you to open shame. And so this is the situation we have in the black community. And so him doing her hair had, and like I said, all of the men said they wouldn't allow that to happen. All of the men said that they wouldn't let this happen. Every man that I talked to said, you know what, this was not my daughter. But women feel like it's no big deal, and this is why men should be in the home, because men create structure. So y'all may say, well, Vernon, what's the big deal? Why is that a big deal? Why do you feel that that was a problem? Them doing that, it was completely harmless. It was in school. It was on camera. It wasn't an issue. This is the issue with that. Once again, like I said, we all been in high school, middle school, and they had a teacher that all the little girls was attracted to. Like I said, this is a young man. They may be attracted. They may have a crush on. You know how little girls are, because once again, they're very fast. But this is the thing. He may be a guy who, as I think, seemed just to be a good, fun-loving guy, and he wouldn't hurt a fly. That's how he come off to me. I could be wrong, but that's how he come off to me. But let's just say he's an R. Kelly type of person. Let's just say he's someone who has attraction to little girls. This is why I want to. Before I say it, I want to say this too. This is why I tell my lady friends all the time, especially the ones who have teen girls, and I'm telling this to y'all now. Be careful about bringing any and everybody around y'all daughter. If y'all want to date multiple men, that's your prerogative. I'm not here to judge you on that. But before you bring them around your daughters, be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because they got some dudes out here that'll try to get at you and talk to you just to get close to your daughter. They got some real wicked, nasty dudes out here, bro. And I understand one thing about the woman doesn't have foresight. This is why she needs a man. Women don't need a man to take care of them no more, or do this and do that. Women need a man for foresight. Women just don't have that. They wasn't born with that. That's not how they're wired, right? They live for today, and they very, very, very optimistic. They very optimistic to the point where they don't think that won't happen to me. That won't happen to my daughter, right? And then when they hit their home, is man overboard. But going back to this gentleman, this is why that's a problem. Because let's just say, like I said, he come off to me as a good, nice guy who's just just doing this and made a mistake. But what if he's an R. Kelly type of person? What if one of those little girls, he gets in contact with them, get their phone number or whatever, and says, "Look, this weekend I need somebody to take my hair down." Invite her over to his house, unbeknownst to her parents or anybody else, rapes her, kill her, or have a consensual relationship with her. because you never know. These things can happen. These little girls, once again, like I said, are very fast these days. What if one of those things happen, right? This is why if that was my daughter, it would be an outrage because listen, sir, do not allow my daughter to do this. Now we have a conversation with my daughter. Don't you ever bit no grown man hair again. You don't supposed to be doing no grown man hair, but this is how some people lay the foundation of going what they kill. Well, I know it's all good. They mama ain't tripping either. Well, say, can your daughter come? And that's another thing. They ask the mama. Can you? And somebody, like I say, some of these women are so naive. They'll let it happen. Well, can your daughter come? She just want to come take my hair down. And whatever happened, whether he get killed for it, go to jail for it, you have a child that is forever ruined, and that can't be took back. And so we have to be very overprotective of our children, what they're involved in, what they're doing, who they doing it with. We have to be able to, and I got a video on my channel about should we pick our child friends? Yes, we should. We have to be the loudest voice in our children's head for 18 years. Because when 18 years come, we don't have power over them legally anymore. They go in the world and do whatever they want to do, but we got to always make sure that in the first 18 years of their life, the moral values that we put in them, principles that we put in them, is always going to be louder inside their head over the world voice and override their friends and everybody else in the world voice. That's what we have to do. Once they're 18, you can't pick their friend no more. But if you showed them a foundation of who is their real friend, what friend that they should pick, um, and told them why, hey, this is why I don't want you hanging out with this person. Don't just say no or don't just do that. Explain to your children why. And they may not understand it, but they'll remember it when they get older and then they'll understand it. So always teach your children and tell them why. Don't just tell them certain things. Let them know why. Well, I don't want you hanging with this person because they come up in the household where it's very toxic, and I don't want none of those spirits or anything to rub off on you. Their mom worked too much. I don't want you hanging with them because they always at home by themselves, and I don't want you going over there and being over there by themselves and something happen. All kind of things like that has to be addressed with your child so you know how. I know my, coming up, I came up in a two-parent household, right? And just a little story about myself, I was hanging with people who I had no business hanging with. I was hanging with people who didn't come from the lifestyle I came from. Equally yoke is very, very, very important. Equally yoke is not important just in romantic relationships. It's important for everything in your life. Friends. You need to be friends with people who were raised like you, think like you. All that opposites attract, that's not what the Bible say. And if you don't believe in the Bible, well, guess what? Opposites don't attract but for temporary, because that doesn't even make sense. If y'all opposite, eventually y'all gonna come to some type of disagreement because y'all opposites, right? And so matter of fact, I was talking to somebody about that the other day, the have-nots and the haves. These two people can never have a genuine connection. Like I said, I speak on the rule. We always know of an exception. It's always an exception to the rule. It's never all of anything. But I'm speaking, anytime I'm on this channel, I always like to put that out there as a disclaimer at the beginning. Anything that I speak on, I'm speaking on the rule, not the exception, because it's always an exception. But for the most part, in mass, opposites don't attract. You have to be equally yoked with somebody who is going to be your friend. You have to be equally yoked with somebody who you're going to marry. You have to be equally yoked with somebody you're going in business with. Any type of thing that's serious to that magnitude, you want to be equally yoked, because if not, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for something bad to happen. Ultimately, not so much as bad, but it's going to go left because this person is left and you're right. And that's just how the thing goes. So going back to the initial thing, that for that reason, that just was inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, breeding grounds happen for stuff like this that has to be nipped in the bud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about him and I God forbid something like this to happen. 5 years down the line, something happened, and this guy is found guilty for being pedophile with one of these little girls. Everybody gonna be like, they mouth gonna be dry. All them same women who talking about, oh well, it's not a big deal. They mouth gonna be on the ground. They not gonna be able to say anything. And like I said, I don't want to put that off on him because I have no right to say that or believe that in him. I'm just saying these type of things shouldn't happen. School, you're a science teacher. teach science. If you want to have a relationship with your children, make sure it's professional. But they don't need to be touching your head, taking your hair down, and being that intimate with you. So, sir, in this court, you're wrong. You're wrong. You shouldn't be fired from your job for this, but you should be reprimanded. You should have a warning or some type of sanction so you can think twice about doing this again, right? And once again, as I mentioned in the beginning, had you not posted it, nobody would have knew about this but those little girls. And if it would have went had an issue, it would have been you wouldn't have been having the pressure of the school system in your community to fire you. It probably would have been by being in house in the town and not on camera. You probably would have been able to have a better situation of surviving. And I don't know the situation. I know he's on administrative leave. I don't know if it's gonna be permanent or what. But I mean, you did this to yourself, brother. And I wish the best for you. Um, we got to do better, man. We got to do better in our community with raising our children. We got to do better with teaching them and giving them things that they should and shouldn't do with other adults. I got a homeboy, matter of fact. I wanted to say this too. I was asking him, I remember I was at his house one time and I was about to take my shirt off and he told me no. And I was asking him why not. And he said, I don't even take my shirt off over here. He said, because I got a daughter. He said, I don't want my daughter to feel like it's all right for a man to walk around them without a shirt. I said, well, what if she go to the beach or something? He said, well, that's another story. But I don't want my daughter to feel like it's comfortable to be in the house with another man with a shirt off because that's how she see her father. And I said, you got a point. So I'm saying all this to say this, man. Be careful with your children, man. Teach your children. Make sure you bring your children in the world when you're ready with two people. Make sure you love your children. So they only be seeking validation from social media. And this was completely inappropriate. This was completely inappropriate, man. And like I said, for obvious reasons, man, these type of things can blossom into something worse. I don't want my daughter doing your hair, brother. You make good money, go get your hair done. I don't want my daughter doing your hair, brother. You know what I'm saying? And so next, cause like I say, the next thing you know, they'll be wanting to come to his house and do his hair. Y'all can come over for the no, 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 no. So I thank y'all for listening, man. You can leave your comments at the bottom on how you feel, if you agree or disagree. But this is how I feel about the situation, man. Y'all be blessed.